I'm going to make a quick video on the truck I'm working on here. This is a Chevy 2500. Used to be a 6.5 diesel. It has been swapped over to a 454 gas. And a lot of people think that sounds pretty crazy at first, but it's actually much more simple than it thinks. Really, to start a gasoline-powered engine, you really just need power to the distributor, which is those two wires up in the corner there. I spent a lot of time redoing the wire harness. It looks 50 times better compared to what it used to look like. And I wanted to talk a little bit about my fuel system today. So I've got the mechanical pump right there. It mounts right onto the side of the block. And I've got one line coming out of it. That's the feed line. It goes over to the gas tank. And I'll show you that in just a second. Originally I was told that the electric fuel pump inside the gas tank was working. And it's got a regulator right there. Two of them come out, go to the carburetor. I found out yesterday that that's actually not true. There is actually no electric fuel pump in the gas tank. This here is a sending unit. There's no pump inside there. The two wires here connect to the gauge up on the dash. It tells you how much, it connects to the float, tells you how much gas is in the tank. And really, these two lines, this is the out port, and this is the return line. So all this does is just create suction right here, and the mechanical pump pulls it. So since this is was originally a diesel, there's a external lift pump right here. I got the connector is right there, and I'm gonna crawl up here and show you. There's the lift pump right there. The connector is there, and what I've been doing is I've actually been jumping it to the positive and negative to the battery, and I've been pulling the old fuel out. I think I'm just going to tip it over and pour the rest of it out. It's kind of a pain. It's kind of slow, but I've been kind of manually pumping it out like that to kind of get rid of the gas. It's about 3 or 4 years old, so I wanted to get rid of that. That's kind of the fuel setup, and right now the engine is at the shop. I've got a guy rebuilding the bottom end of it for me. I did a lot of work on the top end, but I just kind of wanted to make a quick little video, just kind of walk through and show how everything's set up. I don't understand a whole lot about the transmission computer that was put in. This right here is a transmission computer. It's got a wire harness that goes down and everything plugs in the transmission. From what I understand, there's some type of a throttle position sensor connected to the carburetor or something like that, and it tells the transmission when to shift gears. I'm real excited to get the engine back and put it back in and see if this thing will run and see how well it does, but it's been a pretty good truck from what I understand. I'll be posting this video to a guy's channel who has done something kind of similar to mine. Now his was, I think it was a Vortec. The truck was a lot more modern, the engine was, but the carburetor setup I think was pretty similar to what I'm doing. You can see right there, that fuel line right there that goes down is connected to the line that's connected to the lift pump that I was talking about, and that's just going down in that little blue barrel down there. But it's kind of slow moving, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just dump the rest of it by hand or something. And I spent a lot of time redoing a lot of the wiring here. I've actually got two horns wired up to the original steering wheel horn. It wasn't hooked up like that before. And I've got a relay that I wired the other day for the fog lights. Those are working great. So you can actually just manually flick them on whenever you want, when the high beams are on or low beams are on or whatever. So that's kind of cool. So unfortunately I don't really have a whole lot to talk about right now without the engine, but basically I've got that little yellow connector is for water temperature. Those are grounds that go in the block. I've got distributor wires right there, throttle obviously, and this longer one here, That's the connector that goes on the carburetor. That's the only connector on the engine. Everything else is just plugs and grounds. And those two are, well, actually the yellow one is also for the carburetor, but this one's for the alternator right there. There's a couple plugs and connectors for the starter, and that's about it. It's really literally just about that simple. I mean, everything is just grounds and connectors and stuff. And you've got, you know, power steering pulley and stuff like that. AC is going to have to be a story for another day. I don't have a pump for it or a compressor for it or anything just yet. But the truck does have, you know, AC hookup and everything, so that'll be fun. But that's actually about it for this, you know, quick little video, just kind of showing the, you know, little setup I've got. So if anybody knows, you know, a better way to hook up the fuel system, I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I've just got this line coming out. The mechanical pump is pulling fuel from that line, and it's just going straight to the engine. If anyone thinks, you know, I should put an electric pump in there and put like a nice regulator or something like that and step it down to like 7 pounds or something, I'd love to hear people's opinions about it. Because from what I understand, it's just the mechanical. You know, there's no electric, no nothing. Even though I've got the plugs for the electric, I've got the wiring right here. This is the wiring for the electric, and this might have something to do with it also. I'd have to look into it. Some of these wires actually connect to that. So I've got all the wiring for the electric. It's just not plugged in right now. So I don't know. I might keep the mechanical and just kind of run it the way it was running. But I'd be interested to see what people think about it.